Hello friends, good evening. This is Grace, and thank you for your August presence today being Monday, a whole new week. We thank God for that opportunity, and so we want to delve right away into today's topic, which I am calling finding your own way, blazing your own trail, carving out your own part, your own domain, your own area, what belongs to you. Carving out your own territory, marking out the areas that are yours. Because sometimes life will not give you a gentle nudge to go forward. It will be a push. It will be maybe an even brutal push, like a kick in the pants. It will be rude. It will be unaccommodating. It will be jolting sometimes, and certainly not what you would have wanted. It will be uncomfortable. And so during those times, what do? I say you have to find your own way. You have to make your own path. You have to figure out life for yourself. I know it might sound frightening to us. It might sound daunting, especially if we're kicked into it like I just described. And so we might not think that we are ready for it. But sometimes, we are more ready than we think. And unless we are really given that kick in the pants and forced to set out on that path, we might never get to be able to blaze that trail in the first place. So first of all, we have to be, even though we are uncomfortable, be grateful for the opportunity to be able to do what we should have done all along, to be able to go out there and forge our own path, to find our own way. We have to find our own way in life, my friends. That is the best, because there's so much that happens to you along the way. You are forced to grow. You are forced to mature. You are forced to develop and improve yourself in ways that is not possible any other way. There is no growth, we all know, that happens in comfort. There is no worthwhile thing to be achieved that is going to happen to you in your comfort zone. It is always in that squeezing, in that kicking in the pants, in that tough love, in those situations where we might be crying and snot coming out of our nostrils and weeping and crying and going forth, bearing our sits with us, like the Bible describes, and then that's when we're forced to grow. It is a shaking event. It's just that we cannot really see. At one time I saw this video that was like a video simulation of what happens to a plant when it's germinating in the ground, and then it's trying to burst forth, coming up slowly through the ground, and finally becomes an offshoot that you and I can see in the physical, that we can see above the ground. But it's almost as if that plant had to go through so much to come out of that position where it seems as if it was buried, where it seems as if it was dead, to reveal itself, to say, I am alive. And indeed, not only am I alive, I have been growing the entire time that it seemed as if I was dead. I had actually been expanding. I had been transforming myself into a new plant, into a new being, into a product that can be useful, that can be consumed. But it was painful. I had to squeeze. I had to push my way through. It's like that egg that has to keep pecking. That fetus inside the egg, it has to keep touching, cracking until finally that egg cracks open, and then it comes out, and it's a healthy bird. If you go and crack it, you might jeopardize the life of that bird. So we have to find our way sometimes, like that little chick is trying to find its way out of that shell. Oftentimes we are always in that shell, and life has to give us a jolt, like an earthquake, in a way that will be so painful, and then we'll be forced to go out there and to find our own way, because we finally realize that nobody is handing us anything. We finally realize that thing that we were counting on is not going to come through for us. That person, that event, that situation, that job, whatever it is that we had put all our hope on, we are going to be disappointed. And so what happens? Are you just going to sit there in a pile of dust and cry and bemoan your lot, and that will be the end of you? Or you say, no, what, forget it. I can go find my own way. So my friends, that is what we're talking about today, and I'm going to be very brief about it and give us just 2 takeaway points. That's it for today. I don't want to belabor this point because we're going to revisit it in the future. And so come with me to the book of Judges, Judges chapter 11. We find this young man whose name is Jephthah. Jephthah was one of the judges of Israel, but his path to that place of leadership was a little circuitous. It wasn't straightforward. But you know, I love the very first verse of that chapter. It says, now Jephthah was a Gileadite. He was a mighty man of valor. He was a mighty man of valor. He was a warrior. But like for most of us, our stories are hardly only that straight. There's always some text. There's always some addendum at the end that makes things not so beautiful for us. Because the very next phrase says, but his mother was a harlot. His mother was a prostitute. So here we have this young man, a brave man of valor, a warrior in his own right. But unfortunately, the circumstances of his birth weren't all that honorable, and this will follow this young man all his life, up to the point where he is forced to go find his own way. So in this story, we are told in Judges chapter 11, starting from verse 1, actually really the entire chapter is about this young man, so you can read the entire chapter. We are told that so his mother, he was a son of Gilead, that was his father's name, and he was living in this household with his brothers. But he was from a different mother, and his mother was a harlot. But when his brothers grew up, when they came of age, and then they start thinking about the inheritance from their father, they decided that Gilead, Jephthah, being of a different mother, and whose mother was not a reputable woman, they decided to kick him out of the house. They said to him, you are not going to share in this family's inheritance, so you gotta go, get out of here. And they threw him out. And together with the men of the city, they threw this young man out, and he had nowhere to go. So he had to leave, go to a different place in the land of Tob. The Bible doesn't tell us how far away it was from his home, but it obviously wasn't too close by. And so when he got to this place, like attracts like. So you have this abandoned, the discontent of society, these rabble-rousers, the Bible describes them as worthless men. They gathered around Jephthah, and he was their leader, and they went about raiding places. So see, that's the thing. You have this man who's a warrior, but he has no wars to fight, and so he'll go around raiding places. And so that leader in him is not being fully profitably utilized. And so that's what he's doing with his time. He's spending time with this other band of raiders, just whiling away time, and life seems to be passing him by until an opportunity presents itself, an opportunity of a lifetime. And thankfully for him, he is wise enough to seize it, to grab hold of it, to recognize that this is what is going to help me make my name. This is what is going to help me change my start and change my fortunes. Those people who threw me out, I'm finally going to have a way to redeem myself. So in the story, we're told that this young man is spending time with this rabble-rousers in this place where he was. And that was it for a certain period of time, until the men of Ammon, the Ammonites, came to wage war against Israel. And so finally, the people of Gilead remembered that, oh, we know a mighty warrior who can help us in this fight, who can help us fight our enemies and give us victory and save us. And so they went to look for him. They went to look for Jephthah, and that's where our story takes off, my friends. So I'm going to give us our first point of today, and the first point is this: you got to have something that you're known for as great. Like I said, the very first verse of this chapter says Jephthah the Gileadite was a mighty man of war. of valor. He was a mighty man of valor, which means he was a warrior. He was a brave warrior. He was a soldier of the supreme order. He was dependable on the battlefield. He was a guy you could comfortably ride into war with, knowing that if he's fighting on your side, you are good. If he's fighting on your side, then you are almost assured of victory, because he could fight. He was brave. He was strategic. He was a man's man on the battlefield. He was a reliable commander. He could strategize. He could charge an enemy. He knows how to win. And these people knew it. So this is the first point I'm going to say, my friends. You have something that can help you redeem yourself. You have something within you that can help you blaze your own trail even when you're thrown out, even when people cast you out, even when that thing that you're counting on disappoints you. You don't have to sit there and die. There is a way that you can go out there and forge a new path for yourself. And don't you know that this new path that you blaze for yourself, this new destiny that you carve out for yourself, might be far, far better than what you are hoping to be given, what you are hoping to inherit from your parents, what you are hoping to be given by your boss, or your friend, your spouse, or whatever the condition, the situation is. You can go find a way for yourself that belittles all those things. You can go find a way for yourself that will help you forge a new future that outshines and outlasts all the other things that you thought you had been cheated out of. So this man came to Jephthah and said, we want you to come and fight for us. And I like what he says to them. He said, you want me to come fight for you? You hate me. You threw me out of my father's house. What are you doing right here standing in front of me asking for my help? And their answer gives us our point. They say, we need you. We need you. It is their need that brought them to Jephthah. It is their need that made them to go looking for him. When they first threw him out, when everything was dandy, when they were in comfort, when they weren't threatened by any invading army, when their security was assured, they never went looking for him. There was no need. But now that they are in danger, now that there was an army coming to attack, now that they are being threatened, then they finally remember where the solution is. A problem has presented itself that only Jephthah can answer. My friends, there is something that only you can answer if you make yourself the great of that. And when the people show up, those ones who had canceled you out, or when an opportunity is presented to you, don't be bitter. Don't be foolish. Don't be rash or harsh. Don't say, oh, forget all of you. You are dead to me. I will never walk with you again. You're the one who cheated me yesterday. No, listen. Do not burn certain bridges. Don't take it too personally. Okay, see this as a professional endeavor. Say to yourself, I'm trying to build a future for myself. And yes, yesterday you didn't walk with me, but I will walk with you today. But guess what? Now I hold the knife and I hold the yarn and I can cut wherever I need. The advantage is now on my side. I can demand my own terms. I do not have to take whatever you throw me. Now that you need me, here is my chance. I'm not saying you squeeze people or be mean, but I'm trying to say get what is justifiably and legitimately yours. Don't get too spiritual about this. Get paid for your work. You're supposed to be paid for what you do. And so ask what you're worth. When they didn't need you, they didn't call you. Now that you're needed, God is providing a route for you to get your blessings. Don't be foolish about it by being too angry and unforgiving that you refuse to cooperate. But even as you cooperate, make sure that you're recognized. You get what is yours. And that's exactly what Jephthah does here. He asked the men, like, what's up? What's in for me? And they said, oh, if you come and fight with us, we will make you leader over us. We'll make you a commander over us. He said, are you sure about that? They said, yes, they promised. Okay, so he also, what he does next, I like. He brings God into the equation. He said, if the Lord gives me victory over this enemy, if the Lord gives these people into my hands. So he knows that even though he's known as a mighty man of valor, even though he's a brave commander, still we do not fight in our own strength as children of God. He is putting God first, which I love. That is like David saying to Goliath, you come against me, in the name of those your false gods, but I come against you in the name of the Lord God of Israel, whose armies you have defied. So he is saying, Jephthah is saying that yes, I'm going to come, but I'm not coming in my own strength. Regardless of what I know you are all saying that I am, what a brave commander, a mighty man of valor that I am, I recognize that my strength rests in God. And not only does he say that, he also repeats this promise that they told him. It's as if he's making a vow in front of God. He's making it now like a covenant, a contract, saying that this is binding now upon you. I have introduced a third party. It is now you, I, and God. This three-ring cord is strong now. God is in this. You cannot cheat me now. You cannot cheat me out of this. I have brought God into this and I've made it a sacred covenant. You are going to give me what I'm worth after I serve you. And so he does that. He goes in and he fights it's a long story. I don't want to go into the details, but he goes to war and God helps him and he gets victory for his people, and he became their leader. He became their commander. So my friends, I already discussed one of the points. The first point was that we have to blaze a trail for ourselves, that there is something that you ought to know how to do, that you're called great, that you're called a general for, that you're called a commander for. Jephthah the Gileadite was a mighty man of valor. So he was not only a man of valor, he was a mighty man of valor. He was a great warrior. He's a warrior of warriors. On the battlefield, he is incomparable. On the battlefield, he's distinguished from all the other men. You can stand afar and watch and know that, whoa, that man is the commander of the army. You don't have to see him with the colors. You don't have to see him with a feather in his cap. You don't have to see him with any other physical trappings of leadership. Seeing him in action says all that needs to be said. He was a mighty man of valor. And so that's the first thing. You got to be a mighty man or a mighty woman of something. Find that thing that is yours and distinguish yourself so incontrovertibly that everybody knows that if I need help in this area, I go to Susan, I go to Paul, I go to her. When Jephthah left home, nobody asked him, where were you going? All they knew was that they threw him out. They wanted him out of their sight. They wanted to cheat him out of his inheritance. They wanted to get him out of there, and so he left. Nobody cared where he was. But when they had a need of his services, when they had need of his talents, they came looking for him. My friends, that is the next point. When you become great in that thing, when you have worked hard and distinguished yourself so eloquently, so beautifully, so remarkably in that thing, people will seek you out. You will no longer have to be chasing people. You will no longer have to be chasing opportunities. They will chase you. Why? Because the world is always in search, always in need of leadership in all these areas. So whatever is your area of expertise, and you have set yourself apart as the commander, as the leader, as the man or woman of valor in that area, when people need you, they will seek you out. Your primary aim should just be to get as good as you can, to set excellence as your standard. Don't waste time chasing after opportunity when you're still mediocre. Just be very, very good. An opportunity will find you. They will come looking for you. Ask some of the most successful people, they will tell you. Sometimes when you're so good, you begin to pick what opportunities you want to pursue. You begin to say, no, I don't want that, I want this. And there are people in the same field as you who cannot find one of such opportunities. And here you are having so many that you're actually turning some of them away, turning some of them down. Why? Because you're no longer average. You have become great. You have made yourself a great, mighty man or woman of valor in that area. And now people know that you are the incomparable expert, and they come looking for you. And I want to say to us that that is like a better easier place to be. It is always easier when people come look for you, when people come say, please, will you come serve us here, than when you always go looking and begging. The world runs away from you when you're chasing them. I don't know what it is. They are running away. The more you say, oh, I want you, they run. The more you step back, confident in yourself, and just be very good. Spend time on developing yourself and your craft, and you get so good. Watch how you flip that script. They will come looking for you. The same people who couldn't stand you yesterday, the same people who couldn't wait to get rid of you yesterday, the same people who wrote you off, they will come look for you from the ends of the earth that you are in. Nobody cared where Jephthah went when they threw him out of his father's house, until an opportunity presented himself where they knew he was the only guy for the job, and they knew how to go look for him. He didn't send them his address. He didn't even know that they needed him. He didn't even know that an opportunity had a reason for him to come and shine. He didn't go seeking this out. They sought him out simply because he had something that they needed. He had something that they wanted. And they admitted as such. They said, yes, we agree. We are coming to you because we need you. We need what you can do for us. Barring your expertise, barring what you can do, we wouldn't need you. We wouldn't care where you go. We wouldn't care who you are, what you did. My friends, that is the point. That is the whole premise. They come because of your talents. They come because of your gifts. They come because of what you have to give. You know, when we were growing up, we used to go to the tree and harvest the mango tree and the mango fruit from the tree, or the guava or apples. We went because we wanted the fruit. We didn't care about the tree. We never cared about a tree. In fact, I must have stood hundreds of times by a mango tree, but I never went to study it, look at the stem of the tree, the trunk of it, and looked at the root and the leaves. No. I don't care about a tree. All I care about is that, do you have some fruit in it? That is the reason why when mango wasn't in season, you won't find me by a mango tree. You won't find the children trying to climb the tree when mango was out of season. Why? Because there was no fruit. The thing that it could give us wasn't there at the time. It is the fruit that the world needs. Do not forget. Why? Because when they start coming, do not get it confused. Do not get it twisted. Do not lose your identity. Do not lose who you are and say, oh, now they are coming for me. They are not coming for you. They're coming for what you can give. Again, back to our story of Jephthah. They threw this man out. They threw him out. They didn't care about him. He said, you hated me. You threw me out of my father's house. You denied me my inheritance. You threw me out of where I grew up, out of my home. You ostracized me. You cast me out. You denied me every good that was mine. And here you are by my door asking me to come fight for you. Which means if I didn't have something that you needed, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't care where I went. You wouldn't care what happens to me. My friends, that is the truth of life. Let's not take these things too personally. People care what you can do for them. That is the truth. They care what you can do for them. And I'm not saying this to make us hurt or bitter. I'm just laying the stark truth on the table. So you know that when I'm serving, that is what I'm simply doing. I am giving the fruit that I have to feed people as God has given me. I should give it willingly. I should give it gladly. But I shouldn't confuse the fact that they are coming for the fruit, not the tree. It is not me that they want. They want what I can give. And so knowing that, I should demarcate between the fruit and myself. Between what they want and me. I should never lose my identity because now all of a sudden they are showing interest in me. Think about it. And it's a very easy trap, especially if you're someone like Jephthah who had before now not had any attention. Nobody cared about you. They had dismissed you. They had rejected you. And all of a sudden, people come knocking at your door and they are showing you interest. They are trying to show you love. If you're not careful, you can go to your head and you start thinking, oh, they like me now. Oh, they want me now. No, it's not that. Do not lose your head. Do not put too much hope on that. Remember where your hope was before they came in God. Keep it there. Keep your trust there. Keep your heart there. Know that human beings, their love and their attention is flipping. The moment they no longer need you, they will drop you. Just like, I was talking about the mango tree. The moment the mango tree is out of the season and there are no longer fruits there, we stop going there until the next season again. People can be seasonal in their affections, seasonal based on what they need from you, based on what they can get from you. So when you know that, always remember, I might have to go find my own way. And even as I come and I serve, I should remember that this is just a transaction for them. But on my part, I should not bear any grudge. There should be no bitterness. There should be no unforgiveness. After all, I should remember that God gave me this thing for a reason, to serve them. Using again the example of a mango tree. The mango doesn't eat its own fruit. It produces the fruit to feed whoever comes there to harvest. Whoever comes there to harvest. The mango tree doesn't go to the market, box, its fruits and ships it out. It's just standing there and flourishing and blooming, and it's dripping with the luscious, gorgeous, delicious fruit. But you have to walk over to it to harvest it. You have to actually make it to its place to get it. It doesn't go saying, do you want some of my fruit? Who wants some mango fruit? Are you hungry over there? You look like you need some vitamin C. Come over here, I can help you with that. Sometimes I think when we sell ourselves too much, it's almost like prostituting our gifts. We don't know it, but we are demeaning it. We're diminishing its value. Don't go seeking again people too much. Just seek to get better at your craft. I want to reiterate that point. Seek to get better at what you do. You get so good at it, and people know you're good at it. Now you're going to ask me, how are they going to know that I'm good at it? Do like the mango tree. Wherever you are, just blossom there. Keep blossoming there and producing and giving right there at that spot. Not too far. You don't have to travel the world to do this. Wherever you are, start serving there. And then word will get out. Well, word would get out. I'm not saying that never ever promote yourself. No. I'm doing this in a way hoping that I'm promoting myself a little bit. But I'm trying to say it should not be our primary focus. After all, you can promote yourself all you want. But if your fruit is not that good, if it's not excellent, you can draw the crowd and the crowd will still leave. You can get them coming and have the initial interest, but that won't hold them long enough for them to stay. It is your excellence. It is that high standard. It is the superiority of your fruit that will make them stay, that will make them say, oh my goodness, I've not tasted mango like this. I've not seen a dancer, a speaker, a businessman, a teacher, a lawyer, an accountant. Whatever you're doing, it's that will make them say, oh my goodness, you're the best, I need you. Can you come here? Can you do this? Can you do this? And then that's how the invitation starts flowing in. So yes, you might promote. Promotion is good. It has its place, but that is not the primary thing we do. Jephthah, again, like I said, he didn't even know in this story that his services were needed. He was just minding his business, and they came looking for him. And the reason why they came looking for him again is because he had made it known. Somehow, everybody in that village knew that he was a fighter. He was a mighty man of valor. And let me say something else. It is so possible to change your thoughts. It's so possible to change what yesterday was. It's so possible to live a life that you're not hindered by what happened to you in your past, what your family history is. Look at this boy. His mother was a prostitute. The circumstances of his birth were everything less than honorable. That is why they threw him out. That is why they say you cannot have an inheritance. And so imagine he is the right person to say, oh, look at me, my mother was such and such. You can go and change who your mother was. You can go and change the way you were born. You can waste all your time, the rest of your life regretting that, and you will not change a thing. But if you set about making yourself a mighty man of valor, then the world will notice. See all the brothers who were born of the legitimate wife, who were of the rightful wife, who had the inheritance. When trouble came, nobody went to them. They didn't go to ask them to come and save us because they didn't have it. And when trouble came, they ignored the fact that Jephthah was the son of a prostitute. They overlooked his history. They overlooked everything that they said they couldn't stand before. Now that they needed him, they came to get him. My friends, again, that thing that you're great, it will make up for you. It will more than make up for everything. It will make up for the rejection. It will make up for the pain of the past. It will make up of the shame. It will make up for the family history. It will make up for the dysfunction. It will make up for so much. All you need is one thing to make your name. All you need is one thing, that you're known as that great, mighty man or woman of valor, the distinguished expert. If you make yourself known for that one thing, it will wipe up all the sweat off your face. It will wipe up the shame. It will answer your critics. It will answer those people who have dismissed you. Because when Jephthah did this, when he went to war and fought like a true mighty man of valor and obtained victory for them, he did indeed become commander over them all, including those brothers who had kicked him out. Do you think that now he had more than he would have had in that house? Yes, he did. Do you think now he have his own family? Now you don't have to say, get out of this family. Oh yes, he did. Do you think right now you have his own inheritance, his own land? Yes, he did. So that one thing that he was great at, not two. The Bible doesn't mention two things about this young man, just that one thing. That one thing. He was a warrior, but not just any ordinary warrior, not just any average warrior, but a mighty warrior, a mighty man of valor. My friends, don't be content with average. Average will never help you make your own way. It will never help you make your own path. You can set out, but it will never be enough to carve your own path, because the very definition of blazing a trail, of finding your own way, means excellence. It demands that you give all you have. It demands that you have to be great at this. You're not going to half-heartedly make new discoveries. Christopher Columbus didn't just set up half-heartedly and discovered America. It was a risky venture. It was a very dangerous mission, but he was relentless. I read a biography of his. I was like, oh my goodness. I can see why this man did what he did. I can see how he was able to accomplish this. They went for weeks and weeks and weeks. And you can imagine in those days that the maps that they had weren't as up to date. Some of the maps they were wrong, and really people were just going by sight and memory and how they could connect the stars and the alignment of the sun to navigate the great seas. Can you imagine how risky? And even their vessels weren't as advanced as the ones we have today. But he was relentless in that mission. He believed where he was going, and when everybody else, there was almost a mutiny on this mission, and he was steadfast. We are going to do this. When you're going to do something great, you have to be extraordinary. When you are going to do something that you've never done before, you have to think and act like you've never thought or acted before. You cannot be the same old you and then attain something new. The you of yesterday is not you that you're going to take into a great tomorrow. There has to be a change. They gotta be different. And so if you know that you need to go out there and blaze your own trail, you need to go find your own path, you need to go and conquer your own territory, there is the time to sit up and say, I cannot be ho-hum. I cannot be average. It cannot be like what I have always done. I have to step up my own game. And if I will not step up my own game for me, when would I do that? When will I get up and say, I'm going to invest all of me? I call it an investment because it's like you're sowing a seed for a good cause. And if you do it well, you will get a return on your investment. You will get back which you have put in. The Bible says, whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. God is not going to be mocked where you're going to put in half and you come and get the full whole loaf of bread. And so my one thing, if you remember nothing today, my friends, is to remember that you got to have that one thing of yours where you're going to be known as a great man or woman of valor in that area, whatever. Let me tell you, don't say, oh, my thing is not as fancy or respected or intellectual or high-tech or whatever word you want to use as the other guys, own thing. Do you know why you're admiring your own? Because they made it so. they made it so. They took that little of theirs and made it something great, and now you look at it and you think it was a foregone conclusion that it had to be that way. No, nothing is guaranteed unless we make it so. Nothing happens unless we make it so. I love an expression that says things are always created twice. First in our heads and then physically. So it happens mentally or spiritually, and then by our work, it happens physically. I'm speaking to you right now. The thoughts that I have, you do not know. Until I open my mouth and I pronounce them and I speak, then you know what I was thinking. I can have the beautiful plans in my head. I can have the wonderful goals. I can have the most creative thing. That is where I have created it first, yes. But if I don't begin to create it with my hands, if I don't put my hands to work, the second creation, bringing it into the physical, will never happen. And so it will look as if that thing couldn't have been done. But when it was possible, the first part has already been done. If it was possible here, it's possible here. But do I believe it to put enough work to match my faith with works so that I get to be that great person? And then all the people will look at me now and admire it and say, wow, look at that. As if it was guaranteed, as if it was assured. It really wasn't. It is because I matched it with some works. We have to do that, my friends, to find that thing of ours that we love, that we are passionate about, that we're willing to give ourselves wholly and totally into. So we'll begin to be known. We'll come to be known as the person. So when people need someone, if you are a tailor and you sew, if you are a cook and you cook with relish. Cook in such a way that people want to eat your food. Cook it that when I smell it, when I walk into your house or come into your neighborhood and I go, whoa, what is that? I want to taste it. And not only will I taste it, I will sit and lick my plate and then come back tomorrow. That's how you know when I not only eat for today, I want some tomorrow, and then I bring my friends and say, you got to taste Mary's cooking. You got to taste John's cooking, man. He can put his foot down in the kitchen. You gotta taste this. And then they come and then they bring their own friends too. You see, because you did it in a way that I didn't only say, well, it's good, it's not bad, but nothing to write home about. It won't bring me back tomorrow. No. That is not enough to make you that great man or woman in that area. And I'm just gonna conclude to say that the final point I've been talking about really is service. It's really hard to have a selfish mindset and be excellent in the thing. We have to have that servant mindset, to be willing to serve, to be willing to give of our fruit. Yes, we know that people don't want us, they want what we have, but so what? God gave it to me to give out. The same way he liberally gave it to me, I should give out. He says, freely you've been given, freely receive, and then also give. It should be flowing through you. The more you give it out, God will give you more. The more you hoard it, you get constipated with it, and that's all you're going to get. So we should have that mindset, that service mindset, even including serving the people that we think are not deserving, serving the people that maybe didn't treat us well. How do you know that God might use your enemy's hands to promote you? That person that wasn't good to you yesterday, and an opportunity presents itself, but because you're still bearing grudges and you're still holding your hurts and you refuse to serve, you don't know that was the vehicle through which God was going to use to elevate you. But you're still immature in your head, and you want to hold on to yesterday. You can't do that. Be willing to serve wholeheartedly. Again, I want to go back to our example of the mango tree. If you go to the mango tree and you want to harvest, it doesn't say don't touch me. Yesterday you were throwing rocks at me. Yesterday you used a machete and you were hitting me here. So today I'm not going to give you my fruit. It is meant to be given. After all, I'm not going to eat it. I'm not going to sit and enjoy my own gifts. It wasn't for me. It's for me to give to other people, and then they give to me. We are interdependent on each other in that regard. So give out liberally, give it an open heart, freely, joyfully. After all, you're not giving to them so they could bless you. You're giving so God could bless you. You're giving so God could see your good works and say, that's my child. The Bible says, be not weary in well-doing, because in due time you will receive your reward if you do not quit, if you do not lose heart, if you do not grow weary. Do not quit. Do not look at people's faces and the way they treat you, and then you decide to hold back on what God has given you to give the world. That is your gift to the world, and that is what is going to give to you as well. That is how you're going to be blessed. That's how you will be able to blaze your own trail. So when they throw you out, when they reject you, when they refuse to acknowledge you, whatever happens, whatever unfortunate circumstances that happened, remember, I have to develop me. I have to get good at this thing. So good, indisputably good. I have to be the best at this thing. I have to be so that when people hear of me, see me at my work, buy my product, receive my service, whatever, maybe I'm a teacher, whatever, I want to teach it so well that they'll say, I've never seen a teacher like you. I've never seen anyone cook like that. I've never seen anyone dance like that. I've never seen anyone just attend to a baby like that. I've never seen anyone be so nourishing and attentive. I've never met a waiter like you. I've heard of stories where someone was just a waiter and then they hired him. Actually, I know this person. They were working at Target as a cashier in Target. Okay? They were making about $8 an hour, but they were a cashier. But it was the way they were providing the customer service. So they had a customer who was the senior vice president of a major Fortune 500 company in New York. He had come to town in Virginia to visit his mother over the weekend. And so he drove to Target to buy something for her. Okay? And he walks up to this cashier, and the guy was so pleasant, so welcoming, so courteous, charming, and very attentive to this customer at Target at minimum wage. Okay? And this guy looks at him. This corporate vice president says to him, what is your name? Oh, he said, the guy was pleasant. Oh, this is my name. How long have you worked here? The guy goes on to answer. I mean, they were just having this conversation. He just thought it was a client who was just whiling away time as he was ringing up his items. He didn't know that this guy was trying to find out more about him and was sizing him up, trying to get more information. And after they finished speaking, the guy paid for his items and left. Went to the car, deposited his items, and came back. Took out his business card and gave it to him. He said, I want to talk to you. Call me. I am interested in hiring you for a position, for one of our sales positions in New York. Long story short, this guy went from making minimum wage to making 6 figures, all because of the way he served in that area where he was. He was doing the best job of a cashier. And I think that sometimes we delay our own promotion because we keep saying, oh, I deserve more. And I'm mad that this is all I have right now. I deserve better than this. Where is my own promotion? Where is my blessing? And God is looking at that heart. That heart is ungrateful. That heart doesn't want to give. That heart is not the heart of a servant. That heart just wants to hold on. And that heart wants to be given when it doesn't want to give. And God doesn't promote such people. He will not promote you. You need to grow. You still need to learn. Maybe you're good at your skills, but how is your heart? How do you provide it? How do you give? Do you give grudgingly or willingly? Is there joy in your giving? That is so important. Those two things. Get very good at what you're doing, and do it with joy. Have that servant heart. It is very, very important service. Very, very, very important. And so that is what we're going to be talking about all week. But to show you, I want to also use the Bible example of Jesus as I close. You remember during Holy Week, right? Last Supper, the Bible says, after Jesus had finished eating with his disciples, and he knew his time was up. He knew that God had already given him everything and it was time to return to the Father. So he decided to wash his disciples' feet. And so he took a towel, girded it around his waist, and prepared himself, took a bowl of water, and went about the room as they sat at table and was washing their feet. But when he got to Peter, Peter refused to have his feet washed. He said, "What? Rabbi, you're going to wash my feet?" Jesus said, "Yes, I am going to wash your feet. What I am doing right now, you don't really understand. But later on, you will know. You will know. You will see the value of what I'm doing now." In other words, I'm trying to teach you service by example. You don't get it now, but you will get it. But Peter insisted. He said, "No, you will never wash my feet." Jesus says, "If I do not wash your feet, then you will have no part with me. You and I will have nothing to do with each other if you do not allow me to serve you." In other words, our relationship, I came to this world to serve. That is the raison d'etre of me being here. My sole purpose of coming here, the cause for which I came, is to serve, is to seek the lost, including you. And so if you're telling me that I cannot serve you, you're telling me that I cannot do my job, and which means there is no basis for a relationship between us. Our relationship is based on me serving you. If you will not receive my fruit, if you will not receive that which I want to give you, then you cannot come to me. You cannot come to the Father. I need to serve you. And not only do I need to serve you, I need to teach you. I need to teach you how to serve. And so Peter thought he was showing respect. He thought he was being deferential to Jesus. He thought it was the right thing to say, "Oh no, you can't wash my feet." And I understand him saying that. He was thinking that if anybody's feet was supposed to be washed, I should wash your feet. But Jesus was trying to teach him that leadership is by service. And I want to show you by example. Not just tell you, I want to show you what I mean. If I tell you that leadership is by service and I don't show you, how are you supposed to know? But you will never ever forget me washing your feet, Peter. You will never ever forget the Lord getting down on his knees before you, your master, your rabbi, the Savior himself, lowering himself to that lowly position before you, touching your dirty feet and washing it. Is saying, "I really want to serve you. I've come to wash you in all." Peter, let me show you what I mean. Example is the best teacher. I can show you more than I can tell you. And so if you refuse me from showing you, then we ain't got nothing to do with each other. And so my friends, it is very imperative that we understand service. It's very, very imperative. We're going to be talking about it a whole lot more here at Mommy Supermodel, and I know I will never stop talking about it. It's an area that we all need to grow in. We all need to improve in service, not to just wait to be given, to be served. And so when you have that mind of service, it'll be easier for you to go and blaze your own trail, to go find your own way, because all you have to do is give. All you have to do is serve. All you have to do is give of that gift and that talent that God has given you. That's it. That's it. Get so good at it and also be very good at giving it away. It is not too complicated. Be very good at what you do and also good at giving it away. Give it with joy. Give it with peace and gladness and love in your heart. It will bless people, not just in what you gave, but in the giving. In the giving, it's like I gave you a cup of water grudgingly, or I gave it to you with so much love and just respect. The way in which you're going to drink it, the way in which you're going to receive it is different. It's different. It is different. Get good at something. Get great at something that the world knows that you are the man, you are the woman, you are the it person for this thing. And then when you are giving it, be also incomparable in your service. Be so good at giving it that it's like, "Oh man, I love the food," and just the way you waited on me. It's like both of those things draw you. I don't know if you ever heard me tell this story. It's so funny. When I first came to the US, I remember the first time I went to get myself a really nice pair of shoes. I said I wanted to get myself a really good pair of shoes. So I went to this nice department store. I didn't even know that they had a reputation for good service. Interestingly, that semester in school, as I was taking a marketing course, the professor mentioned that department store as one of the national chains that are known for their service. And when he said that, I said, my mom, like, "Oh yes, you are right, because I have personally experienced that." So it was a weekend, a Saturday, and I had just left the library. I went to the store, I took the train, and I went to the mall. And so I was just wondering, looking around. I wanted something really cute, something stylish. Hey, I'm young. I'm trying to, look cute. And so I looked through the, the glass window, and I just saw a pair of boots. It was winter, so I wanted, a pair of boots. And I didn't really know. I didn't know what I had in mind. I just wanted something pretty, something to look good. I'd passed a few stores. I was just looking, so I walked into. It looked like it was expensive, but I was like, I'm willing to splurge a little bit. I had a little side job, so I wanted to buy myself something nice. I had a different pair of boots, and it was for utility. It was to wear into class, but I wanted something that I could wear out on weekends. So I walked into the store. And there was this young man there. He just, the way he greeted me, so welcome young lady, sit down. I was like, okay. I sat down, and he asked me what I wanted. I said I wanted a pair of boots. He asked me if I know exactly what I wanted. I said, no, just bring nice ones to me, then I'll pick. So I told him my size, and he went to the back of the store, into the storeroom, and he came out with, I'll say, 5 to 7 pairs of boots, and he laid them all in front of me, and he took one after the other and showed me this one. I said, no. By the time we got to about the 5th one, I said, yes, that one, let me try that one. So I reached out to take the boot from him, and he got on his feet, on his knees, like he was about to propose or something. And excuse me, I wasn't really used to that, so I got taken aback. I was like, what's this dude doing? And so he got on his knees, took off my shoes. They had those little booty socks that you used to try on your shoes. He put it on my feet. I felt like Cinderella and the prince slipping the slippers on her feet. And he put the shoes on my feet, and then looked up and said, how does it feel? I was like, it's good. I'm just trying to say there was only one conclusion I could arrive at. I had to buy it. The service was so good, I had to buy it. Not that he made me. It's the way I received it well. It was given in such a way that it is so compelling, so convincing that it sells itself. I love the shoes to begin with, but the way in which he served me, I concluded that I don't need to go anywhere else. I don't need to check out another store. I don't need another person to help me. This is it. He sealed the deal with the service. The customer service was so good that not only did I buy that shoes on that day and thanked him very much and said something to his boss on my way out, but the next time I needed a pair of shoes, guess where I went? So not only did he get my business on that day, but he got repeat business from me simply because, one, yes, the product was good, but the service was equally good. So those are the 2 takeaways for us today, my friends. Be so good at whatever you do that you are the man or the woman that you get to be known as the undisputable expert, or indisputable. I get to mix this word. That you are the expert bar none. You are the person, the go-to person for this thing. If we need a teacher, if we need a dancer, a doctor, an attorney, who is the best person in this field? Let's say you're an attorney, and you are a tax attorney. Be so very good that everybody knows you, that when someone needs an attorney, maybe even as a consulting basis, and that's how you begin to get different opportunities. They say, oh, I know Susan. She's the best tax attorney. She's the best one to handle this kind of cases. Or maybe they need someone who's maybe, I don't know, a doctor for a particular ailment, and people will refer them to you. So it is your expertise, how you've distinguished yourself in that area. Look at how Jephthah was described in this passage. The very first line said it all. Jephthah, the Gileadite, was a mighty man of valor. My friends, that's how you and I ought to be introduced. That is the introduction you want. That one-line introduction that says, you are the person for this. She is the best corporate lawyer. She on the East Coast, in North America, in the Western Hemisphere, in the world. If you need someone in this, she is the it person for this. And one more example, and we'll get out of here. You know the World Cup is going on right now, and my husband and my boys, oh my God, they are diehard soccer fans. So that's really all we talk about and watch at home right now. And so for the longest time, my 2 boys, one of them was supporting Messi, Messi, the Argentine soccer star, and the other one, my older son, he's always loved Ronaldo, the guy from Portugal, he plays for Real Madrid, and Messi plays for Barcelona. They're both in Spain though. And so this World Cup has been going on, and so it's always been the rivalry between Messi and Ronaldo has been going on and on. But after both teams, Argentina played Iceland the other on Saturday, and also Portugal played Spain. Remember last two World Cup, not this one that passed, the one before in 2010, Spain won the World Cup. So they are known as a soccer powerhouse, but Portugal not really so. But because of Ronaldo, they were able to beat Spain. No, they were able to tie 3-0. And Ronaldo scored all 3 goals for his team to give them a chance to be able to move forward to the next round. Like he carried the team on his back, and the goals, like the free kick that he gave, that was spectacular. It's been talked about all over the world on social media. People are still talking about that goal. Like, he is now being referred to as the GOAT, you know, the greatest at all times. I mean, the argument is going on and on. Meanwhile, Messi, on the other hand, he didn't do so well for his team. Not only couldn't he score any goal, but he actually missed a penalty kick. And so Argentina had to tie a game that they were supposed to have easily won over Iceland. So now the argument is, of course, you know, the conclusion, Ronaldo is better. Why? His performance, he's been consistently performing both for his team and for his nation. Meanwhile, Messi has been faltering. Remember last World Cup, Argentina went all the way to the finals and they lost to Germany 1-0. And Messi, the great Messi, was on the field and he couldn't find a goal. And so people are using all those things and saying, you see, we have to conclude that Ronaldo is better. I'm saying your works, what you do, it will settle the debate. People can be questioning, but when you perform consistently in a certain way, you say, you mark yourself out and say, I am the best in this, and I will walk my tail off. I will improve myself to set myself apart as the great person in this. After a while, the argument will be settled. After a while, the debate will be over, and you will be like Jephthah. When people need you, when they need your services, there's not even a debate. They know whom to go to. They come looking for you. You don't have to be sending applications anymore. You don't even have to be knocking on doors. You'll be the one to be turning down opportunities and say, you know what, I don't have the time. I have enough clients now. I can't take any more clients, because you have distinguished yourself in that area. You've made yourself the go-to person. People know that if you need this person, if you need a mighty man of warrior, you go to Jephthah. We know his brothers. His brothers are here. We're not going to his brothers. We go looking for him wherever he is. We don't even know where he lives right now. And we keep asking, do you know where he lives now? Do you know what town he moved to? Do you know what state he is right now? And they went right where he was to bring him back home, to not only fight for them, but to make him a leader over them, because he was that mighty man of war. He was a mighty man of valor. He had set himself apart. That is how he was able to blaze his own trail, to carve off his own path, and to create his own inheritance for himself, even after his brothers had cheated him. Even after they refused to give him anything from his father's house, he made his own. He made his own. He didn't have to be destitute. He didn't have to die suffering poor when he had something great going for him. That greatness, being that mighty man of valor, was his saving grace. It was the one thing that saved him. It was the one thing that helped him redeem himself, that people could come looking to him for, and thereby helping them and him also helping himself. Service and excellence combined, setting yourself apart greatly and also giving it willingly in service. Those two things, anytime, any day, they will bless other people and bless you too, and help you carve your own path, regardless of what you lost, regardless of what your historical circumstances are, your family, your history, who cheated you out of what, you can still carve your own path. Friends, thank you. That is all I have for today. God bless you for your time. So it's good to see you. I don't know how appropriate this is, but I'm just going to say I'm sorry for your loss, my friend. God bless you. My prayers to you and your family. It's good to see you. All right. See you all tomorrow. Bye for now.